Welcome, everyone. I am thrilled to have Carolyn here with me. We've done work together. I'm a big supporter of Opportunity International. You've seen how many little initiatives we've had in the past to support them. Big fan of microfinancing. And Opportunity International is very, very close to my heart because it doesn't hand out the fish, it teaches people to fish, and the next generation learns. So, Carolyn, welcome. Thanks for being our guest. And I'll let you talk a little bit more about what you do.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, LK. Thanks so much for having me. I just love that you're passionate about personal financial management and charitable giving. I just see it. Follow you on LinkedIn, as you know, and I just love how much you're supporting charitable initiatives and your passion for it. And I've really especially appreciated your support of women's empowerment. So thanks for that.
So let's dive in right now. Can you share with us what's the mission of Opportunity International and how does it uniquely impact communities around the world?
Great, fabulous. Yeah. So Opportunity is a microfinance charity, and our vision is a world in which all people have a life free from poverty with dignity and purpose. So it's a beautiful vision and one that we really believe we can achieve in our lifetime. And we're different because we're really a business solution to poverty alleviation. That's the real difference for us. So we're providing financial services and training, which is key, to those that are normally excluded from the formal financial system. So if you think about it, we're kind of like a banker to the poor in low income countries. And we're unique because there's a sustainable solution. So it's the solution to poverty alleviation and it's sustainable. For the loans are repaid and then they're reloaned to another person who is growing their business and providing for their family.
And I know that coincidentally happens to be that you're always looking for the poorest of the poor, and they tend to be women. I love the model because for you guys, a large gift can be anywhere in the $5,000, $10,000 range, right? And what can you do with $10,000?
Oh, it's incredible. It's just a small amount with a huge impact. So our loans are maybe $1,000, depending on the country. So smallish compared to business loans in Canada. And with those loans, women are able to start or grow businesses and just fly with it. So we're impacting a woman's business, her income for her family. And the beautiful thing about working with women is that they put all of the money that they have, their increased income, they invest in their families. So their children's education is paramount. That's the most important thing for them. So feeding their families, making sure that they are housed safely and fed, and that education is so important.
And it's fantastic because for me, it's also an example for the kids. They see that you don't depend on Papa government, that might not even get to you ever. You learn how to buy a little chicken, then turn it into a hen, then sell the eggs, and then off you go. So it's fantastic.
So we're really impacting at all the next generations. And in the training sessions, the children often come. So they're, the women are sitting in someone's backyard, or they're in someone's living room, and the children often come. And so they're hearing some of that, they're participating in some of that training, but they're, seeing their moms standing tall and confidence and growing their businesses. And so it really does impact both daughters and sons.
And it's sweet because it's not fancy, but it's effective.
Yes.
And it gives them hope too, right? There's somebody's believing in me, and then they give me whatever number of dollars so I can go out and buy my whatever thing that I can then sell. What inspired you to get involved with Opportunity International? What drives your passion for this cause?
So I'll do the short story, but when I was 17, don't worry, I'm not going to go to play by play. But when I was 17, my parents took us on a medical project to the Dominican Republic. So we lived in Toronto and had a very nice life in Toronto. And my parents wanted us to see how most of the world lives. So I went on a medical project and changed my life. I just said, I want to help. I want to do something to help. And took me a while to work out what that tool would be. And I discovered microfinance a few years later, also back in the Dominican Republic. and said, that's it. That's the tool. So I did an international development undergrad and then an international MBA so that I could work in microfinance.
That's awesome. And I see I think of the natural or the human need to be relevant is there.
Yes.
And you bring it to opportunity, and opportunity spreads it across. That's really amazing. So tell me a story, something that is close to your heart and near your memory of how you impacted a family, a community, gave hope.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. There's so many stories, but one that I just saw recently was a woman named Madeline, who's in the Dominican Republic, and she is a mother of 4 daughters. And she started out in a savings group with our local partner. But before joining, she just lived day to day. She had no financial stability at all. And the financial literacy training she received in that savings group gave her the confidence to start a business. She used her loan to buy 3 fans. That's how she started. She bought 3 fans, and now she has grown to have a whole general store. It's incredible. Not only does she have this general store that has so many products, she sells on credit. So she's able to help her community, and she's done so well. She's able to provide, sell on credit to some of her clients. And the training really helped her save with purpose. So they used to all share one bed, if you can imagine. She saved income from this business, and now they can live much more comfortably. There's more beds than just one that they're all sharing. And she really sees her business as a family legacy. Imagine she's the mother of 4 daughters. So what these daughters are seeing, their mom running this business, successful business in the community. She also works with her mom. So her mom works with her. So there's 3 generations involved in this business. And she's really inspiring her daughters with financial independence and stability.
That's fantastic. It's heartwarming, and I'm sure like that you have more stories than you can think of.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, right? It's good. Well, congratulations, and we want to hear more and more and more and more and more. Out of curiosity, how much was her loan, roughly?
$400.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So see, I always say there are more reasons than excuses.
Yes. Yeah. Low cost, big impact.
Can you share a story that illustrates the transformative power of Opportunity International's work?
Sure. I've met a lot, so I travel a fair amount to see our work in Honduras, Colombia, Dominican Republic. I was recently in Colombia and met this woman that is just blew me away. So as we were walking into her barrio, I'm just overwhelmed with the level of poverty, and it was quite emotional for me. And when we got to her home, the smile on her face as she explained her business was just brought joy to all of us. So she'd always dreamt of being a pharmacist. Imagine she's living in a poor neighborhood. She's got 4 children, single mom. Always dreamt of being a pharmacist. Never, that didn't pan out for her. She wasn't able to. She had to take care of her children. She met with our local partner in Colombia, in Cartagena, and they let her know about this program. And so she learned to become a pharmacist. And so she now has a little business in her if you saw her home with tin roof and wood walls, she makes her own cleaning products. She makes her own shampoo, and she sells it by the bottle, by the size of bottle, or she weighs it on a little scale to the people in her neighborhood. So she's gone from not being able to feed her family to such, living day by day and not sure how they're going to survive, to running a business that she also develops her products and then sells that product to the people in her community. So she's grown her business. She's got all sorts of different products, and she's providing that need for her community. So they don't have to take a bus to get to town to buy their product, they can say, listen, this is how much money I have. Can I get this cleaning products for this day? So she's expanded her business, feeding her family, and providing this incredible need in her community.
And if I may add, she's also showing the community what's possible.
Yes, exactly.
If you find the will, they'll find the way.
Exactly. The product is incredible. Yeah. And they can see there's hope, right? So she said she used to just cry all the time and be just so depressed, right? Like, how am I going to face this? And there's a lot of social isolation there too, right? They're not wanting to go out. You don't have your financial house in order. When you don't know where your next meal is coming from, there's a lot of emotional baggage around that too. So now she's, yes, exactly, out speaking with her community. And that's such a beacon of hope for the rest of them to say, hey, what's the need? What's a need in my community? How can I fulfill that need and draw an income from that?
And it's funny, well, not funny at all, but it's tragic to think that she didn't even have a house to have in order. And now she has a little shack to have in order, but she's showing the community what is possible. Mm-hmm. And that kind of ties back to what I tell our clients, right? Don't be ashamed of being a mess, and don't be ashamed of not having your house in order. But now that you know that you need to get your house in order, let's go. Mm-hmm. It's time, because just pretending that it's not happened is not going to solve the issue. And you might be leaving a mess behind, and it's not fair to your kids. Mm-hmm. And this woman had the opportunity, blessed with kids, but those kids eat. And now with hope, she's finding a little light that can guide them. Same thing goes with people that are in financial trouble or financial confusion. And it goes from paycheck to no paycheck to people with a lot of money. They have a lot of noise. That noise is really what crumbles the houses. And that's what we want to help people do, like really take ownership. And if you're willing to work with us, we can help you a lot. What are some of the biggest challenges the communities you serve face, and how are you addressing them?
The biggest, just the basics, right? So the communities, this one woman I was just telling you about, Lucy, her home, through her barrio, there is a river running through the barrio. I thought it was a really sweet river. It's actually sewage. There's sewage coming in. There's sewage coming into the river. That's one. So besides having low incomes and not able to feed their families and have secure housing, there's issues. There's health issues, right, in living in areas that are not clean and tidy. There's also security issues. So in that same area, it was starting to rain. And the people that we were with, they said, if it starts to rain too much, we're going to have to leave. And I said, why? And he said, this is when the gangs come out, because it starts flooding and then the police aren't able to come in and take care of things. So the issues are this is such a long list, right? From basic human rights of food and shelter to security to health issues. So we are helping people address this, not by coming in and fixing it, but by helping the women to take care of their own lives, to increase their own incomes so that they can take care of those things themselves. Just as you mentioned, this is something I'm really passionate about. Once your finances are in order, you can start to think about other things. You're not just focused solely on that. You have some bandwidth to start thinking about, what are some things that are needed in my community? What are some things that I can do beyond that? So once the women we've had examples of women who have said, you know what, we need some lights in our community. This is dangerous. So once they're able to have some financial stability, they can start to look at some of the needs in their community and advocate for themselves, not us coming in and saying, this is what you all need. They're saying, we need some lighting to make sure it's safe for everybody. So that's how we're doing it. We're helping women, empowering women so they can take care of their lives and their families' lives. And their communities.
And the kids are watching. So that to me is incredibly inspiring. We work with families, helping them, clear their minds and decide what kind of legacy they want to leave behind. And again, it doesn't have to be many millions of dollars. Everybody has a legacy, but if you have your house in order, it's a nice way to transfer it. And it's also, I find, philanthropy and value conversations amongst families is a very powerful tool to keep the family together. Mm-hmm. And, show empathy and show that you're looking sideways and not just, tunnel vision on accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. And then people turn around and say, well, who did I accumulate for? And what was the point? Very often I hear parents that say, oh, my kids are going to bring this to short sleeves, short sleeves to short sleeves 30 generations. And my question is, have you ever talked to them about money, how you built your business, the trouble you went through to get to where you are? And very often they say no, because there's a little sense of embarrassment, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like it's hard, it's long hours, and sometimes things work, many times they don't, and there's luck, and there's the bill that you build. So all these things that have to come together as part of the exact same thing you're doing with guidance to all these communities with Opportunity International, because you have the experience of more sophisticated approaches to business building. And you can guide them, like, you have to have a cash flow statement, and you have a balance sheet, and this is what it means, and watch out here. Oh, you need probably they don't need a website, they just need a sign. This is how you can get it. So from basics, it's a very nice way to give hope to humanity. And, especially with all the bad news that you hear these days, all these little glimpses of hope are fantastic.
Agreed. And one of the things I was thinking about when you're saying that is a lot of times, there's talking about people are depressed, there's depression. And when you start to think beyond yourself, when you start to think about others, you're taking away the focus from you, right? You're starting to think about, well, what does my neighbor need? What is it that I can do to help someone else? And that helps you too, because you start, you're feeling, yes, that sense of hope, that sense of community. Our sense of community is so important. And so, yeah, it does help. And
I know you do trips to show your donors what's going on and seeing, their dollars in action. Do they bring their kids along?
They do. I was actually, the story I was telling about Colombia is actually a woman, she brought her grandson. So she's taken each of her grandchildren on trips, which was wonderful. And then I was on a trip in November, and there were 5 families who have been supporting our work there. And so the families came too. They brought their children. So yeah, incredible, right? And just as I mentioned, just like my trip to the Dominican when I was 17, it's life-changing. And talking about those conversations about what do we have here in Canada? What is it that we have at our disposal? It's just, we're so blessed. So.
And no doubt, there are northern communities that need help, and there's always going to be someone richer, and there's always going to be someone poorer. And I think that the way forward is acknowledging it, learning from what you can learn from some, and really helping, not necessarily out of pity, but out of humanity.
Yeah.
And imagine the super experience of going with your grandma to somewhere and seeing how those dollars are in action and what they can do. And then after the day's done and your feet are full of mud, or if you were hiking around, sitting down with grandma and say, oh, that was really cool. And probably the kids are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
Most people can't do that, right?
No.
They don't get a chance.
No.
And you're also doing that side. Like, listen, if you want things to do with your kids or your grandkids, that's fantastic. There's a trip beyond Disney, right?
Yes, exactly.
Don't get me wrong. Disney's cool. But I think that you get a lot more bang for your buck going to any of these adventures than eating a $15 ice cream.
Yes. And the bonding, right? And the conversations, just so you said, the conversations, the insights, a lot of times what the kids say, because we have our debriefs, right, on the bus on the way back or over dinner, and the insights of the young people are just are amazing. So to share that with your children or grandchildren is incredible.
And that shows that it's a lot more than the very needed check, because we need the check.
Yes.
But that check gives you so much more.
Yeah. And then they share it, right? They're filled with the passion. And then everyone who goes on trips just is hooked, right? They just have seen it with their eyes. We mentioned the women standing tall and the sparkle in their eye and talking about their business. And then they come home and share those stories with their friends, which there's the cycle too.
I think it's incredible. And I'm a big fan of yours. And I'm really happy that you're now on the MDRT's foundation radar.
Yes.
And ultimately, that's what people in the financial industry do, right? It's we educate our clients and show them the potential consequences of their decisions and what's available to them. And we talk about different plans and different goals, and then we turn those into a plan. But if we can, bring that to action and see what you guys do with plans and everything we show to people, that's fantastic. So I'm really happy that MDRT has spotted you and supported you, and that's huge for us.
Oh, Sam.
Practical question for you,
Mhm.
because I know, but I want you to say it. How can professional advisors like us, Rubac Wealth, collaborate with you to help their clients achieve their financial goals? I know how, but say it by all means. And financial advisors is, lawyers, accountants, um, investment advisors, insurance advisors, a combination of everyone. Like, it's the trouble with financial advisor is that it's a little murky, but anyone that has a say over someone's finances, an opinion or guidance,
Mhm.
how can they work with you to help their clients?
The best way is, I mean, to talk about which charity, if they're so inclined, talk about which charities to share about opportunity. But really, one of the best ways is talk about the tax efficient ways of giving. So there's a way to, if you donate stock, right? If you donate stock, you can actually be giving more to the charity and getting a better tax break. And talking about living a planned gift, so in your will, or it's even insurance. And this way you can reduce your tax liability and support a cause you're passionate about. But what we always say is, yes, talk exactly. You said, talk to your financial advisor who can see the whole picture. Talk about what your dreams are for your family and for your legacy, and come up with some tax efficient ways of giving to charity.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the money goes to CRA, to your family, or to a cause, and you have to pick two.
Yes.
There's no if or but. It's two. Okay. Well, Caroline, thank you so much. We're gonna leave it at that. But as you know, the journey continues. I don't say it's a fight. The journey continues. Thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I think this is going to be the first of many. And anything, as you know, anything we can do for you, I'm a WhatsApp away, and I wish you luck with the rest of the year and all your goals. And I'll continue waving the flag for you.
Thank you. So appreciate it. Okay. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, everyone. We are ending the episode, but if you want to get in contact with Caroline and or know more about Opportunity International, the links will be below, and then you can reach out. Nothing would make us happier. Thanks for listening.